they will. Do you want to test them out?
But I don't think you can tell though.
Dude, I got
You will.
scars.
You've never seen my back.
You will. Yes, I have. You will.
When did you see my back?
You showed me.
Really?
Yes.
You didn't see my. You see this one?
Yes.
Ken, where's your phone? Tell me if this worked. Check it. I sent it through Messenger.
I can't.
He
Send
wants
to
it in a
Messenger,
text
though. I have to
message.
do it in a text message.
I'll send it to you.
Oh, I can do this. Oh, that don't work.
We're live, you guys. We're live right now. Everyone can hear us.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. Matt, we're live.
Only.
No, I'm hearing myself through my phone right now. So listen, bro. We got 2 people listening, and this is not what we meant to do. Show. I hear something. So that's something here, but my mic. No, what? Let's wait. What mic is not working? Why am I not? Did you just do something different? There's only one mic we're hearing this through, and I think it's the computer itself. Hello. Where is this coming from? Where am I hearing? This is the only mic working right now.
Okay, watch out.
It's all pulling from Elena's mic. Elena, do up. Yep. Why is it only her mic working? So, which one is she? That's Elena. So that's 2. That can't fly. We gotta make sure. Are there something turned down or something?
Can you still hear it?
Yeah. Yes, Elena. Hang on. Nope, you're up. Yeah.
You can still hear it?
Yep.
And there's no sound?
No. We're only hearing it through Elena's mic, and I need to figure this out. There we go. I think you just cut it. Nope, we didn't. Nope. Anyone listening, we apologize. We're still trying to figure out this technical issues, but at least 5 people are listening to us act like a bunch of fools.
Well, you.
You know what? Maybe we just get this going, but it's only my mic working. So start plugging and unplugging the other mics. I'm hijacking this mic for the night. Do just 2. Yeah, that should be good. Nope, no good.
Hello?
Videos? No. It says live right now.
Okay, hold on. So, this thing right here,
Oh, wait. Hang on.
mute.
Hello. There we go. My mic's working. Ken, will you talk into your mic?
You are beautiful.
All right, stop. No, them mics aren't working. No, that's all echoes off of just my mic. I switched mine to number 2. So, That's unfortunate. Something's happening here. Well, you know what? All that. There we go. I muted again.
It just automatically mutes.
There's got to be a reason.
That's what it was doing at Gopher State.
Well, well, let's see what's going to happen here tonight because this is going to get frustrating for our audience and for us in the house. This is where we pay for technicians. And welcome everyone to 2218's Attitude for Gratitude weekly podcast. We, as you can tell, are having some technical issues. But as everything in recovery, we grow through it. The Alano Society of Minneapolis is to be the premier Alano clubhouse serving the greater community by offering support, strength, and hope to those seeking recovery and their families. I need to get you guys the right reading for that, and I apologize about that too. What I want to do is really just get right into talking about the 4th annual 2218 Ride for Recovery. It's a week from tomorrow, Saturday, June 25th. It's going to be something else. This thing goes all day long. Kickstands are up at like 10 o'clock. People are meeting at 8 to 9:30 for the pancake breakfast and registrations. $5 donation for breakfast. There's a mandatory rider meeting, which I want to take a second and talk about because one of the key things that we want to make sure on this ride that everyone's fully aware of is that we go above and beyond when it comes to safety. We have multiple road guards. We have people that took road guard classes for this. They're registered wearing their vests. And before we have this safety meeting, and we just make sure we get on the same page. This isn't kind of a every man for themselves type of a ride. This is one of those rides where the camaraderie comes into play on the ride, the sightseeing aspect, the measures of a a ride where everyone is on the same page. It's a ride that I'm comfortable going on, and it's a ride that I'd like to tell everyone about because of those safety measures we take. Dan J will probably be popping in to talk about it a little bit, but this is a very, very important event that we do at 2218. Like I said, it's the 4th annual Ride for Recovery, and it's huge for the community, not just for people riding motorcycles. This goes way above and beyond that aspect. We've got bands showing up. There was another, like a famous recording artist is going to be showing up. We just found this out like kind of last minute. It's a guy by the name of Tom Feldman. He's huge. This guy is a recording star who's a big time part of this community. We've got Zoo Factor coming on. I strongly suggest like come on down and check it out. It's kid friendly. The festivities at 2218 kick off at 1:30. The band, like I said, Zoo Factor is coming on at 4. That's when they're scheduled, but with the new addition added, I think we're going to have some music even sooner than that. The big barbecue's at 5 p.m. Vic's going to be in here cooking up some serious eats. If you've ever eaten food that Vic's cooked, then you know what I'm talking about. He comes from a long line of cooks, and he incorporates that into what we're going to be having here. We have a guest speaker at 6:30. We have a medallion meeting going on too. So that's, for anyone who doesn't know, that's someone who's going to be presented with some recovery time, and then they speak a little bit. Then we get the music back up and running. Like I said, on the flyers, we advertise Zoo Factor, but like I said, there was a later minute addition added on. Then we also have the silent auction that closes at 8:30. So throughout the whole day in the auditorium, they set up all the tables with all these donations and all these these things that you can bid on. There's a raffle for a lot of the items. There's a silent auction. There's drawings. It's a whole day of fun. I strongly suggest. My whole family is coming down to check it out. I'm the only one in recovery. Like, I'm gonna try to talk them into bringing Lucy with, but I don't think she can handle all the people. Here's the other thing, though, that I really want to talk about when it comes to the Ride for Recovery event is we're going to be doing the show from the Ride for Recovery. Meaning, at 1:30, we're setting up the podcast. We're going to have people popping in and out, just like we did at Gopher State. It's going to be just utter mayhem and awesomeness. So you're going to hear from, I figure, probably 50 different guests we'll have on. It's going to be, like I say, utter mayhem. It's good for recovery. It's good for my recovery. It's good for the community. I strongly suggest anyone you know that's looking for some fun, a week from tomorrow, you come on down. We are definitely looking for some more volunteers. Anyone who wants to be part of this, contact myself or Elena. We both put our numbers on the thread. I'm not sure if I got my number on there yet. But it will be on here when I'm done talking. But it's huge. I don't know how much more I could stress the importance of what this means to me and for the recovery community. I will be talking about it again at the top of the hour. What I want everyone to know that this is an interactive show. I do appreciate everyone and having patience with us. We know the last 2 weeks when we weren't on, and a lot of that had to do with the same issues we're having tonight. We're getting updated and upgraded equipment, and I just couldn't get it incorporated yet tonight. So with that said, that's coming, and everything will turn around when that happens. We're using some older stuff, and it will get better. I promise you. So go ahead and cut it up. I apologize. We got all these things. We're trying to hammer out all the kinks with this podcast right now. There's just been a lot of curveballs thrown at us in this last few weeks. So again, we appreciate everyone's patience and understanding. So as we always talk about, like, this is interactive. If you have questions for our guests, if you have suggestions for the show, if you want it to go a specific way, just please reach out. Let us know. Whatever you'd like to see happen on this show, let us know. Elena, how are you doing today? Get right on your mic. We're not sure if we're going to hear Elena or not. Let's see.
I'm doing really good.
Well, so she says she's doing really good.
It's a great week. You know, you never know. You never know what's going to happen during the week.
Yeah, you sound like you're a mile away. So what we're going to do is have you guys, let's turn off this AC. And, darn it. You know what? It's just real unfortunate when we're dealing with some technical stuff. Go ahead, Ken. Talk to us.
Hello? Can you hear me?
No, everyone's hearing us through my mic. We only have the one port. There's something going on with our mixer. Like I said, I got to get the updated equipment here. When we did our test run earlier tonight, all we did was we tested to make sure we could get on and start. And we were able to get on and start, but we didn't check any of the audio. So that kind of falls on me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw Ken and Elena in 2 chairs right where I'm sitting, and they're going to talk a little bit while I go fiddle with some stuff with the technical stuff. So, Ken, come sit where I'm sitting. Elena, you sit here. And you two do a little interviewing and talk about some recovery stuff. You know how we do. And I'm going to do what I think will work. So, there you go.
You're going to do what you think will work?
What I think will work.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. So I'm sitting here with my friend Ken.
Hello.
Really. So I hope everybody had a good week. It's been a crazy week. It's been a crazy hot week. So I hope everybody got out and enjoyed some recovery. There's been some fun things that have been going on. And there's some fun things. If Tim mentioned the 2218 Ride for Recovery, that's coming up next weekend. There's I'm just going to let everybody know that I do have a fun thing going on this weekend. up at Blaine Alano. If anybody wants to come out and do something fun, there's going to be a barbecue up at Blaine Alano for Father's Day. So if you need something to do, bring your kids. You don't have to be a father to kids. You can be a father to pets. We're going to do a barbecue from 1 to 4 it's in Ham Lake, but it's right on the border of Blaine and Ham Lake. So how are you, Ken?
I'm doing fairly well tonight.
Fairly well. Well, tell us a little bit about you. You're in recovery. How long have you been in recovery?
A little over 19 years.
19 years? That would make him an old timer.
Really?
Yes. I like to make fun of Ken. Ken is a friend of mine.
Sorry.
A friend. He's an old timer. How much time you got over there, Ken?
Well, I got today.
There you go.
Ooh, that's a good answer.
So, yeah, we were talking to Mike Dreamer tonight. In the
Tell me
parking,
about him.
we were talking in the parking lot, and he was asking, he just got.
And he is watching.
I know he's watching. He's struggling, and he trying to figure out why he's struggling. And I know when I'm struggling, I'm trying to take my will back. So I made a suggestion that maybe he should start doing the 3rd step prayer, morning and night.
And how does that work when you try to take your will back?
It doesn't work very well. Even though I have that much time, I still have to turn my will over every day. And that's the hardest part of this sobriety, is turning your will over. Because we, as alcoholics and addicts, are very, very stubborn people. And we want what we want, and we want it now. And sometimes it doesn't happen that way. Sometimes it throws a curveball, and we get too much too fast in early sobriety, and then we falter. We think we can do it by ourselves. And I think a long time ago, when I first started this journey in 84?
God, I was like 2.
Anyways, so that first word on the first step, I always used to think that was I.
It is I. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you guys are doing good. I'm still
No.
trying.
I know.
We're good.
We're good.
Oh, sorry. You're looking at me like.
But this last time around, I got involved with people that were, 5 or 4 years sobriety, and a lot of people that I got sober with and got me sober are still sober today. I hang around with people that are doing the deal. They try to do sobriety, and that first word in the first step is we. And we cannot do it without each other. And I think that's what sometimes, when my sponsees, they falter, is that's what they forget.
Yes, it is.
It's so hard. It's even hard for me at 20 years sobriety, or 19. Sometimes I'll take my will back, but I just learned I have to give it up.
Because we have no control over anything. We have to stop trying to control every aspect of our life. I still try to control things. I still try, and my sponsor looks at me like, "What are you doing?" And people in the rooms look at me like, "What are you doing?"
That acceptance prayer helped me a lot too in the early sobriety.
Do you know what the acceptance prayer is?
Not,
Offhand?
No.
Yeah, I know. I ask for acceptance when I pray.
Yeah.
The acceptance prayer on page 417.
There you go.
Oh, okay. 417 of the big book.
Okay.
That's of Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's on page 417 of the big book. And I remember that my sponsor made me read it like 8 million times because I could not accept things in my life for a very long time. And sometimes I still can't. And she will remind me to read that because acceptance is the answer to all of my problems.
When anyone, anywhere, no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
That's not the prayer, but yes. I completely get what you're saying.
So, do you use that acceptance prayer daily or weekly or monthly?
I use that acceptance prayer at least probably a handful of times a week.
So when you're using the acceptance prayer, it's because you're taking your will back
It's because I'm trying to take my will back in some situation.
and trying to control the situation
Yes.
the way you want it to be.
Yes.
How does that work?
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I get angry and irritable, and I want to just start yelling at people because things aren't going my way. And I have to realize that they can't always go my way, and that I need to just accept that certain situations are going to be a certain way. Unfortunately. And then I realize why it needs to be that way, why I need to just let something go, why things are the way that they are. And then it's okay. And then it's okay.
Right, I understand that.
But that takes practice.
It does take practice. It takes a lot of practice.
So in early recovery, you know, you have to work with people. What am I trying to say? You have to rely on other people to get you through the tough times.
In early recovery, I relied on so many people for so many different things that it somewhat became overwhelming because I didn't have like the small circle that I have now that I rely on. I relied on, let's say, 30 people at all times. So it kind of got confusing for me of what I was doing and who I was talking to and where I was getting the advice that I needed and stuff like that. So it got so confusing in my recovery that I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't know where I was going to go next. So I had to find a way to bring everything in, and that's when I started doing the acceptance prayer and figuring things out and working with a smaller group of people. And I still had all of my friends in recovery, but I had to find a way to bring everything in, to reel everything in, to make everything work. Because otherwise it's like I'm living in a circus. And I'm the monkey.
You know, I guess living in a circus, as you say it can be good and it can be bad.
Yeah.
You know, for me in early recovery, I couldn't pay for food. I couldn't pay my rent. I couldn't drive. I had to pick up the phone and ask for help. I had to pick up the phone and ask for rides. And I got involved with a bunch of guys. In early recovery, I went to basically just men's meetings and just tried to focus on myself.
And why is that?
Because trying to be in a relationship in early recovery does not work because I don't know anything about myself.
That's right.
And I'm trying to learn. And if I'm trying to date somebody or get into a relationship with somebody else of the opposite sex or with the same sex or whatever, I'm not working on me. I'm not trying to figure out why I'm doing the things I do. So I relapse, or I don't really call it a relapse. I make a choice that I give up and I go use.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not willing to give that up these days. So it's about a choice. I choose to do sobriety. I choose to do recovery. I choose to hang out with people that are doing the work and continually to do the work. And they work out themselves.
Absolutely.
And that's the hardest thing in this program because you get people. I've known so many people, and then all of a sudden they give up and they go relapse, or they make that choice to go out and use. At 24 years of sobriety. But
unfortunately, that stuff does happen. Unfortunately.
I don't know a lot. I think I can count on less than 100 people that have over 10 years sobriety or 20 years sobriety.
Very unfortunate.
So, sobriety isn't easy, and you can't do it by yourself. You have to rely on other people for help.
You do. And anybody that tries to do this on their own, they really have to watch out for things because smallest things can trigger people. The smallest things can cause problems. And who's going to be there to help you through those problems? Who's going to help you walk through what's going on? Who's going to help walk you through that extremely hard book to understand? I'm not going to sugarcoat this. That AA book is hard to understand if you haven't walked through it with somebody that can understand the things that they're trying to say in some of those parts. So you have to do this with someone. It's very, very highly suggested to do this with a sponsor.
But do you agree that in early recovery, you should take like 15 or 18 weeks to go through your step work?
I believe in early recovery that you should take as long as you need to go through your step work.
I guess I don't agree.
Both of you, please explain your sides of that.
I don't believe that it should take you a year to go through your step work, but I also don't believe that, so like, let's say like treatment centers, for instance, I don't believe that by the time you get out of treatment in 3 weeks, that you should be done with your 1 through 5. Because your 4 steps should be thorough. Your 4 steps should take you a little bit of time. So like my 4th step took me about, when I finally did a 4th step, so I've been in this program since 1996. And I did not do a real 4th step until 3 years ago. And it took me about 3 months to actually write up the entire 4th step. It took me 3 months. And it takes time. It takes time to actually to do the whole thing and not miss it. And I'm sure I did miss 1 or 2 things, but that's what the 10th step is for. That's what the 10th step is for. But once you do these steps and you flip and work your way through it, like 1, 2, and 3, I mean, I can admit it right away. I can tell you right away that I have a power greater than myself. I can admit, or I can be willing to turn my will and life over to him, stuff like that. Character defects, yes, I still have character defects that I need to get rid of. One of them is control. I have a problem with control. But I admit, yeah. Okay.
Well, everybody, sorry.
Okay, wait, let's talk again. So sorry, the computer muted for some reason. So we are back. Hopefully you can hear us. So we are back. So we're just gonna start from where we where we were talking. So Ken is gonna explain where he started when he worked on the steps.
So, when I got here, you get so stuck. They made me go to this thing out at Waverly. It was called Back to the Basics. And we did the step work like the old timers did back in the 1930s or 1939. They ran us through the steps in 2 days. You did all your step work. And it doesn't mean that you can't go back and do another 4th step. And I had to, because back then I couldn't remember everything. So I had to go through, like a month later, I went through the steps again. And then that was like 3 months, and then I went through the steps again at 9 months. And I just continually to do the work. But I think that's what made the difference this time for me to stay sober, because I wasn't stalled. Because half the people that I sponsor, they stall on the fourth step, and they won't do it, and they'll take weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks for them to do it, and it doesn't seem like it works. I mean, for me, I've got to get all this stuff out and try to start working on myself. But that's just my personal.
Sorry about that, Kenny, but we found another hot mic. Elena, come on over here, and you two keep this conversation going. No, I got a call about this. Go ahead. We should be golden. There you go. Yes, now you two can have a real podcast conversation, and I'll be back after I figure out the other two mics.
All right. Oh,
I just got to.
Ken was having a problem sitting on that chair.
Oh, my ass hurts.
All right.
Good thing
so
you got another one.
good thing you got 2 ass cheeks.
All right, so you guys were talking about steps. Wait, let me put my 2 cents in before I make this troubleshooting call.
2 cents. 2 cents.
So, here we go. Sorry about the technical errors and issues, you guys, but
progress, not perfection.
progress, not perfection. Ken and Elena are going to keep talking about doing their steps. Me personally, it took me almost a clean year of meeting every Wednesday with my sponsor to get through the steps. But I talked to some old timers that have told, I've heard so many different stories about how steps were handled. Back to the basics. I've heard about, I got to take this out. I've heard about so many different ways, but I think it's like Elena said. I agree with her. I didn't really hear your side, but I know you said you disagreed with her. So I disagree with you, Ken. No, I'm joking. I believe it's just like anything. Like, my sponsor didn't tell me you got to do 90 and 90. He said you got to make meetings when you're able to make meetings. You'll know after a while, like, you need a meeting, you get your ass to a meeting. With these steps, like, sometimes it takes a little longer to get through your 4th step, or when you're ready to do 5th, but see, Ken is an old timer who comes up in a different era. We are part of this patch your butt AA type shit that I hear old timers kind of talk down on because they didn't get brought up that way. Whether it works for one guy and not the other, like, I have an old school sponsor who came up like you. We just met every Wednesday for an hour, and he'd read the book to me. So when we got to that spot in the book, that's where we were at doing steps too. I just don't think you can put a time. For me, I doubt it was. I don't know, because I don't know another way, but I don't see how that would have worked to put a timeline on doing your steps. Is that not how it was for you? I didn't hear that.
No, they pushed us through the steps, Tim.
Who's they? Is that back to the basics or treatment?
No, back to the.
Okay.
Back to the basics. Well, it's just all the old timers that you talked about. You know, you just got to do. I think you just got to do it.
Doing it without putting a timer on it?
Yeah, I mean, dude, I procrastinate and I stall. And
you're an alcoholic who procrastinates?
Oh yes, I don't like to do things. If I don't have to do them, I won't do them.
What are you looking to do here? Is that good right there?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Timmy.
I don't want you to struggle though. Get to your mic.
Timmy.
It's just a hard one. I mean, everybody's different, and it's like you were talking about Pamper AA, and it's just like
Catch your back, AA.
oh, I mean, I don't know. I wish I had more feedback on this. If anybody's got any feedback for us on it.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're all boring.
No, we're not boring.
So, what else do you want to talk about, Elena?
So, you know what I want to talk about? So, and hopefully it's not like bad thing to say, but I'm peopled out. Do you ever get peopled out?
Explain.
So I don't know how to explain this. So I love AA and I love NA and I love recovery, but sometimes I just feel peopled out. Like I don't want to be around people anymore. And I just want to like be alone and I just want to stay home and I don't want to go anywhere. Is that like me isolating and not going to meetings? Like, is that what that is? Or is it just okay for me to just be peopled out and want to stay home?
It's okay to be peopled out and want to stay home. It
'Cause
really is.
I literally just
We used to have a friend named Sam.
I love Sam.
Sam was a he was a character and a half, but he would always text me these long poems and recite all this stuff to me, right? And I'd go, I fucking hate people. And it's okay.
See, and I love people, but lately I've been saying I hate people.
Fucking people. People suck.
And I don't know if it's because I work with people or if I'm just around people all the time or if I'm always doing stuff for people. But lately I'm just like, God, I hate people, but I love people.
But it's funny because throughout the years of sobriety is that, you know, you get in a relationship with a woman or a man and you stop going to AA because you concentrate on the relationship. And then it starts getting boring, so then you either have to go back to sobriety and go back to AA, and I don't know, it's just crazy. People suck, though. I really do think that. I really had a bad day today.
Oh.
Well,
you know what I tell people when they tell me they're having a bad day?
I'm having a good day.
What did you do to make it better?
Because I came and seen you.
What did you do to make it better?
Smile.
I know.
Aw. It's pretty funny.
I do smile at everybody that I see. Behind my RBF, there's always a smile for people.
Is that the bark?
Yes, I do bark. I don't bite, but I bark.
Oh,
I know.
Anyways, so what do you do when you don't like people? So you just isolate?
I try to stay home so that way I don't get snippy and
How many days does that last?
It depends. It depends.
What does that mean? Depends. Does
I
it
don't
last
know.
1 day, 24 hours,
Oh,
48 hours?
So last week I went to one meeting.
7
So I used to be go to 3 meetings a week. Last week I went to 1. This week I haven't been to any.
Really?
But my recovery is strong. Like, I don't think about using. I don't think about anything like that. I still talk to my sponsees. I talk to my sponsor. I still do all of that.
So you keep in contact with people in recovery?
Absolutely.
So what happens if you don't keep in contact with people in recovery?
I become an Uber bitch.
Have you ever had that?
I become an Uber bitch.
What does that mean?
You don't want to meet that person. You know what I did today? I was in the coffee line at Caribou because I'm addicted to Caribou on my way to work, and I saw this girl pull up behind me, and I was like, I know that girl, and I sent her a good morning message, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something, and I paid for her coffee, and as I was pulling away, I sent her a message that said, enjoy your coffee, and she sent me a text message. She's a girl from the rooms, and she sent me a text message. She's like, you just made my day.
Of course, but you can do that for anybody.
Well, I did it for her. And I was like,
you know,
I pay it forward all the time.
What does paying it forward mean, though?
Pay it forward?
Yeah.
So, like, if somebody pays for your coffee in line, then you pay for the person behind you, stuff like that.
But that can go with anything, though. The
Yes.
groceries.
Well, I'm always getting coffee, so that's my example.
Oh, okay.
I could live on coffee.
But what happens if you pay it forward, though? Isn't that good karma?
I would hope so.
Oh, yes.
I would hope so.
It brings good karma.
I never really have anything bad happen to me anymore in life. But I'm also clean and sober.
That's what makes the difference, too.
Mm-hmm. Because when you're clean and sober, good things happen for you. Oh, look at this. Shout out to our friend Michael.
Mr. Dreamer?
Yep. Shout out to our friend Michael. Good things happen for you when you stay clean and sober.
He's listening
He's
to us?
listening to us.
Really?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for us, Michael?
Michael doesn't have any questions. He does, but that's okay, Michael. You should just listen. That's the best thing to do is to listen to what people have to say.
And do that third step prayer before you go to bed.
So do you work with people in recovery?
I have.
Okay.
But the last few sponsees have they went back to the dark side.
Oh, they decided to experiment some more.
Yeah.
They decided to figure
Yeah.
out what life still had to offer.
Oh, yes. And it's just so. Yeah, I'm not gonna work with. Well, Mike called again, so maybe I'll work with him again. Who knows? You know, God's got a plan, and it's not a good one some days.
Yep.
But I have worked with sponsees, and sometimes it gets old. You know, I'm not like some of these other guys that have 38 sponsees and read the book with 42 people. So
Yeah, I can't do that.
yeah,
I
I know.
can't
I
do
know
that.
a bunch of guys that do that. They read with like 20 or 30 guys at once, and it's just like I don't think that's what the old timers had it for this program to do it that way. I think it's just a one-on-one thing or a two-on-one thing that they work together. You know, back in the day, Dick and Mary had this big book study that we went to at 15 weeks, and that's when I think AA in Minnesota really changed. It was in early 2000s that people actually started getting back into the book and started doing the deal. And that's when I think AA really started to take off in Minnesota again. And it's just like, I don't know much about, I've gone to some NA meetings in the past years. I don't know a lot about it, so I can't speak on that. So, but I know AA today it's a wonderful place to be in Minnesota. I mean, Gopher State was amazing this year. There was only half the people that were normally there.
It was still busy.
It was cool, and we lost a dear friend that was pretty crushing to a lot of people. And you know, Tim mentioned this ride coming up for the Ride for Recovery, and I just hope everybody be safe on that ride.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
it's terrible when we lose somebody in recovery. We almost lost somebody last year on this ride that we care lots about, or I do. And she's recovered and she's riding again. So I hope everybody just be safe.
You know what?
What?
You two switch. No, you go take Elena's spot,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna sit here. And speaking about that safety measure, is simply this. Ken did bring up about, everyone please be safe. Here's the thing. The Ride for Recovery has always, for the last 3 rides, have been without a hitch. Meaning, we kind of go like tenfold what they did for Gopher State. How can I break this down better? Is Gopher State, I'm not going to knock it. I love Gopher State. Who can't love it? That's helped save so many lives out there. The ride down to the ice cream shop was impromptu. I don't want to put a highlight on none of this because I talk bad of none of it. But I know what the measures we have taken for 2218's Ride for Recovery is safety first. Meaning we've highlighted this and we're going above and beyond to meet these different standards to this ride. We're talking about 20 road guards, meaning every single intersection is getting addressed. Every town we drive through is getting a heads up about us coming through that town. It's not going to be every man for themselves. We don't do that. That's not part of this ride. This is about camaraderie. It's about fellowship. It's about safety, and it's about the safety of the ride and the spirit of the ride. I'm glad we circled back to the Ride for Recovery talking is because of the simple fact of that is this is something that helped save my life. Like, it's been going on for 4 years. I have over 4 years of recovery in me and of 4 years that I've been doing this. And I've been doing this every year. Like this, it's funny. I tell my story and it starts with me on a 10-speed. Riding it to the bus, putting it on the front of a bus and taking it to the transfer, moving my 10-speed to the next bus. But then I got a moped. And then I got a couple Harleys. Like, it progressed. And one of the goals I had was to get involved with the Ride for Recovery. And that's what we've done every year. So this year, it's gonna be so awesome to have the podcast from the ride, the big party out here. Like, there's nothing that touches this. We were out front talking about it, and I made this bold statement of, this is the biggest thing in recovery that happens in Minnesota, and in the next breath, someone reminded me of Gover State. Then I had to amend that statement and make it clear that, okay, this is definitely the biggest thing any Alano does in the state of Minnesota and any other state, but safety does come first. So understand that if you want to be one of the road guards, there is still room to do that. If you have suggestions for any of this, there's room for that. We're having, like I said, this is one of those things that I strongly suggest, if you know someone who's on the fence about recovery, if you know someone who doesn't know they have a problem, bring them on down. And then after, you can tell them, like, look, that was what a sober fun looks like. And it's a blast. Just like no one could have explained to me that there's this type of camaraderie and fellowship and fun prior to seeing it. I always compare it to, you ever been to Brainerd, BIR, the international, it's the Nationals?
No.
Okay, so what's something else that's people, it's one of those things you kind of have to see. I can't explain it to someone. The best way to explain it is just show up. So, all right, I'm gonna get off that horse. Ken, I wanna. Oh, you got a runaway mic, huh? There you go. Spin that one, and that'll keep it from falling.
Oh, jeez, there we go.
Oh, jeez. So we were talking about someone first and last name. We try not to do that here. So I'm sorry about that, Mike. I didn't give them the rundown about that. Please don't think you were singled out. The unfortunate thing is we try to hold people's anonymity, but then again, on the other hand, everyone's full name shows up when they write a post. You know what I mean? So but it was nothing personal, and he knows that. He's a good kid.
We love you, Mikey.
Yeah, for sure. Like Keith too. Keith K. Like these are the soldiers of recovery. Like, I would have loved to have Mike on the show tonight, and I would have picked his brain about his choices, because it's always boggled my mind about people that go back out, especially when you've had a taste of this life, this happy, joyous, and free. Now, Ken, let me embark on this with you.
Okay, so you're talking about the taste of the life, right?
The taste of this happy, joyous, and free life.
Okay, so you're 18 years sober, or 19 years sober, and you decide to take muscle relaxers.
Okay.
And then muscle relaxers lead back to alcohol, and then you're back out.
Was it the muscle relaxers, or was it the person taking the muscle relaxers? Was it the gun or the person holding the gun?
Well, I think it's I'm not, how do you say this?
Doctor, wait, let me get some points across. Was this doctor prescribed?
Sure.
Okay. Was it, what was the plan? You have 18, if someone has 18 years of recovery, I would assume, which makes an ass of me, that maybe they put a plan in place to, here, mom, here, brother, here, fellowship friend.
That doesn't work that way.
What, with giving me my meds?
Yeah.
Why not?
Because we're controlling.
Okay, well, that sounds like the person, not the pill.
I don't know. Is it? No.
I would. That's me from what I've seen. Yes. If I break my leg right now, and I'm given a bottle of Perks, because I have to take them for the pain, I'm giving them to my mom. I'm calling my girlfriend. I will not let myself be in control of taking those. I don't trust myself. That's me, personally.
I don't know if I knew you, but I ripped half my foot off a couple years ago.
I've seen scars and I've heard stories.
So they gave me the Perks, right?
Yep.
I took them as prescribed.
Okay.
There was no problem with that.
Okay.
The problem is when I stopped taking them.
Yeah.
I wanted more.
Yeah. That's because your brain, your body started needing them.
Well, my brain started needing them or something. Yeah, it was just kind of crazy.
Yeah, dude,
I
why,
mean,
you know what? Here you go. Why do you think whatever company, Moderna, whoever, is being sued for billions and trillions of dollars when they said they're not habit forming or addictive? Because they are habit forming and addictive. If you take them for a certain amount of time, no matter what, your body's gonna cry for them. It's unfortunate, but that's what it is.
So does that mean I don't think that.
I know where you're going with this. What it means is you get to a Narcotics Anonymous meeting and you share that shit. You say, I've just gotten off this for me. This is what's worked for me. I just got done taking a script for this foot that got amputated. I tore it off in a farming accident, and now I want more. My body's craving more. I'm going through withdrawals. What the fuck do I do? That's what I've learned is to share that shit. Pastor Jeff Hill has said this.
Not many people do that.
No, of course not. But listen, Pastor Jeff is constantly sharing with the whole congregation. Now, this is pastoring for 18 years now. He'll come out there and be like, yep, I looked at my save last night. Not like there's hundreds of thousands of dollars, but I was staring at 25 grand, and I'm thinking I could go get 2 bricks of cocaine and do it all up and disappear. He's telling this to 600 people in the audience, and he's like, you guys, don't be worried about me. I know my mom gets scared when she hears me talk like that, but don't be worried about me. Be worried about me if I'm not telling you.
Exactly.
There you go. So what I've learned, what I'm saying, what's worked for me, share that shit. Get that shit out. Don't be shy. We all got high. Like I wasn't scared to keep going back to the dope man without the money, come up with some bullshit story. Like I would do things I never thought I'd do for my fix. Why can't I incorporate that in my stoppage? I know what you mean though. That's not how we think. Hey.
Do most people in NA and AA think like that?
I do. I can't speak for you. I can't speak for Mike. I can't speak for Elena or him. What I've seen, no, because it boggles me why there's so many relapses. Me personally, it boggles me.
So why do you think they're relapsing?
Not a clue. Like I just started this. I wanted Mike in here so I could have picked his brain to find out what he thought he needed to go back out for. I don't get it. I've always been.
So this boils down to the stuff that me and Elena were talking about. Doing your step work.
Yeah. Whatever. I mean, yeah. For me, I got to share that shit.
Cleaning the records of your past.
Yeah. So is there something that wasn't shared on the 5th step? Was there something you weren't fully thorough?
For years, I used to keep something off the 5th step.
Okay. And that what? Kept you sick?
Yep. It allowed me to go back if I wanted to go back because I didn't share everything.
That is the weight of a skeleton in your closet saying that gives you your justification to go back out and use. Like, shit, I didn't tell no one that I got caught beating off in the corner of the supermarket when I was 7. I didn't share that with no one. I mean, I was trying to think of something really bad but not too dirty. But you know what I'm saying? Like the weight of the guilt of a skeleton in your closet that you don't share, it's easy to drink it away. It's easy to go use it away. You use that problem. So if I don't share it and get it off my chest, I still am harboring whatever it is. I still have it on my brain, so I use over it.
Yes.
That's like the guilt. That's like, yeah, run your steps. Do you run it? You run it through the steps? Did you share that shit? That's why I say just share it. That's my answer to a lot of these problems is share that shit. If I'm struggling, if I'm having thoughts to use it, I just told you outside, you were saying you're dreaming about blow or something. I was not dreaming. I was fantasizing. I was cold-hearted fantasizing about a needle. Yeah. I shared it with you guys, and I shared it with my Thursday night men's meeting. I talked to 2 people I'm close with in recovery and shared it. I wasn't scared about it, but what the fuck was I thinking about it for? Why was it dancing through my head like a ballerina for at least 20 minutes? Is it a sick head?
Nope. Is life really good right now?
For me?
Yep.
Here's the thing. Everyone's different. And I'm going to say for me, yeah. I can't blame it on some downfall. I've always got something where I could say, this is fucked up. He's sick. He's getting sick. This guy's dying of brain cancer. We just buried my best friend. I mean, but I can topple that with 100 things of good. So here's the thing. I've rarely in my life dealt with mental health. I've rarely in my life dealt with anxiety. These things that I do feel fortunate about that I overcome, and I've not had the issue like a lot of my peers. So I see what you're asking. I know what you're asking.
What am I asking?
Is life not going good right now? And that's
not even fucking close.
That's what you just asked.
I asked if life was going good right now.
Okay, then keep going.
So, if life is going really good for me, that's when I have to be on the most guard of my sobriety. Because everything's okay. I'm not on guard. I'm not looking.
You got your guards down.
Yeah.
So is that like the same thing? Like, I'm not gonna use when I hear my brother died, but when I wake up and stub my toe, I end up using over that.
I
Kind
don't
of the
know.
same concept.
I don't know.
No, it's just the concept you hear some of these old timers share about. Matter of fact, it's Big Dave R who shares that all the time. He's like, I won't use over a big tragedy in my life, but it's them small little things like I got a flat tire that you end up using over. I mean, what's the underlining issue? Whatever. We run the inventory, run it through the steps. I share it. That's my answer.
For me, it's when everything is going okay and I'm fucking happy and life, I don't have nothing to complain about. And then I'll start thinking about, well, maybe I could take a drink.
Self-sabotage?
I don't know if it's self-sabotage. It's just
What is it?
crazy.
You're the one who should be dropping the knowledge on us with 18 years. Come on.
Really?
What is it?
Wow. And then he's laughing at me.
I didn't want the audience to know I was laughing. I'm putting that out there that it's like this.
It doesn't matter how many years you have.
You
and
only
I've
have.
watched people with more sobriety
Look
than
at
me.
Armin. Armin had like what 20. Armin from the men's meeting. I don't know if you know him. He gets in my brain. He just celebrated, I think, 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, but he had like 20 something years.
Why? Why'd he go back?
Here, let me say it this way. I've yet to hear someone come back in the rooms and say, I've just had too many sponsees and I was just meeting with too many guys and going to too many meetings, so I picked back up. You don't ever hear that.
No.
It's always what I've heard in the measly few years I've been here is I stopped going to meetings. I wasn't sponsoring guys. I wasn't fellowshipping. You start going away from what we already know works.
Isolating.
And everyone's story is going to be different. I get that. I don't know what's in your head. You don't know what's in mine. Life shows up. Like, dude, for me personally, I can't tell you what the last reason I thought I should pick up was. But life shows up, dude. What are you going to do? How are you going to show up when life shows up? How
do I show up when life shows up?
No, I'm just that's a bold-faced question for like.
Well, how I show up when life shows up is I ask for if it's too bad and I can't deal with it, I'll call you. I'll call Elena or message Elena.
But what you're getting at is
I reach out.
Yes.
If I can't deal with it myself or I can't get through it, I'll call our friend Bob.
Yep.
My friend.
You've got thousands of friends, dude. I know you do. You've been here long enough, and
yeah, but
like,
it's my choice. I can choose.
Right.
That's the choice I make. It's a couple years ago before I met you. Right when I met you, actually, I just got out of a really, really bad relationship. Mm-hmm. And it was either I go left or right. Left when I went back to drinking and drugging. Right?
I like to take credit for the right.
The right one, I went to work for recovery, and I sat in a bunch of meetings for a while.
You know what? I'm going to say this out loud because I don't know if I've said it or put it out there this way. But I let my ego get so gassed up because at one point when we were working together and I was dragging you to meetings every day on lunch, eating up like 20%, 30% of our day on going to a noon meeting. You said somewhere, maybe it was at Will Work, you're like, yeah, start working with Tim and he's got me going to meetings again. That little statement pumped my ego up so hard that I'm the reason you start going to meetings again. And no, it just started running in my head. And of course, I wanted a fucking gold star over it. Like, that's the addict head of mine. Like, I'm taking credit for your recovery. That's not how this shit works. But we're talking 3 years ago, dude.
Yeah.
Like, this is before COVID. But that's like my sponsor. He just was slowly not going to meetings no more. And I asked him to sponsor me. And then all of a sudden, he's back. And I said, well, I chose to go to this Wednesday night meeting at New Hope Alamo. It ends up being his old home group. Like, just however, higher power shit. But not staying involved, and you go through a bad breakup in your head. Like, were you contemplating that? Going back out? Like, man, fuck it. Maybe I'll do that.
It's pain. I don't like pain.
And you knew for a fact a way to not have to deal with that pain?
I don't like pain. I don't like conflict. I don't like rejection. I don't like blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. And the easiest way to escape that, even with how much sobriety that I have, or how many times I've gone through the steps, or how many sponsees I got, if I want to run away from that pain fast enough, that's what I'll do. I'll go use.
So,
And it doesn't matter. It can be for anybody. I mean, I had a sponsor that sponsored me, and he had over 18 years sobriety, and he started taking some miracle muscle relaxer from China.
yeah.
And it's funny because you'll notice when people go back out, I talk to him like 2 or 3 times a week. And all of a sudden I wasn't talking to him at all.
Just communication ceased.
Yeah. And that's when you know when people have slipped.
Well, something.
Or something happened.
If you're close with someone, this is why making connections in my mind are so important. In somehow, some way, some shape or form. And it's something I try to work on, but keeping those connections valid, meaning what you just said. Like, you guys had a pattern of knowing you talk once or twice a week. Then all of a sudden, if you're not talking to them, you know something's up.
Yeah.
You know something's going on. If Bob doesn't call me for a week, I know something's bad.
Yeah.
I know
Or
something's going on with him.
You don't call me for a week or something, or I'm not showing up to meetings or something, or you're just not seeing me. I mean, there's patterns.
Well, is that the whole we thing? Like, that's part of this we. We do this together. And that's one of the facets of, I believe, why.
Yes, because a lot of times it's I do this, I do that, I know what to do, I've got this.
I got this. Last famous words.
Yes. I can do it by myself. I don't need anybody else. And from experience, I need everybody in my life today. You know, it's crazy because my 19-year-old son moved back into my house, and it's
How is that?
How is it? It's been kind of the best experience I've ever, because I've seen him change in the last couple months.
For the good or bad?
Oh yeah, he's changed for the good. He's acting like, I don't know. He's just
A young man?
yeah, pretty much.
Because I think, I mean, without putting information out there that you might not want out there, I'll let you elaborate. But I know when we were working together 3+ years ago, you were sharing about how, you know, I think he would have been really well in hockey or something. And this was a point in time where, like, he decided to not be part of the academic part of his life or something, but things weren't as good. And now he's back in your life more so, and things are good. Like, you see what I'm like, God, I don't want to air out all your business. I'm trying not to.
It's okay. He's just.
But things were shitty with him in his life, like where the trajectory was, and you kind of expressed some worry, like, God, he was so good at hockey or something. And
yeah, well, the trajectory has changed since he moved back with me. It seems like his life has turned around a little bit. And, you know, we can be role models to lots of people.
Yeah, that's where we're getting at with
Yeah.
this.
I mean, you can be role models to your sponsees. You can be role models to people in the program. You know, it's huh.
Come on, what epiphany you just had with the
So, how do I say this? I don't know. It's just, it's grateful to be appreciated some days.
So, like, you're seeing a level of respect from your kid to you now that you never saw before?
Sometimes.
Like, he is still a young man.
He's still 19.
Yeah, he's still 19.
Yeah.
But you also, you get to be who you are. You don't need to put on a show for your kid. Like,
I don't know. I don't put
you
on
just-
a show for anybody.
Right. So you're leading by example.
So basically, you know, this is what some people don't like about me sometimes is what you see is what you get.
But that's how it should. Do you see a problem with that?
Do I see a problem
Yeah.
with it?
No, I'm just saying. Do you see an
I
issue with
see-
that?
Sometimes I have an issue, but that's my own issue.
I mean, with other people, wouldn't you just prefer everyone just be who the fuck they're gonna be and not put on some show?
I want people to be honest. And it's
Yeah.
hard for people to be honest and straightforward.
I understand in early recovery it might be tricky for people because I didn't know who I was. You go so long of using, drugging, running, and gunning that lifestyle comes with a facade that you're putting on. So you get clean. I had to figure out who I was. I'm still figuring out shit about myself.
Well, that's because you know, if you do the step work and you do your step work and be honest with your step work, you'll start figuring out who you are.
Or who you want to be.
Or yeah. You know, we were having this conversation earlier about what did I do wrong? You know,
Right.
in early recovery, do not get in relationships. You know, it's just it doesn't. From what I've seen, it doesn't work
The majority of, like I said,
unless you've done your step work.
Well, and that's the same thing with, like I was telling you, my sponsor never gave me some date. You can start dating after 1 year. You do 90 and 90. Like he gave me suggestions, but it's like this. Figure out who you are first before you go and try and tangle yourself in some relationship. How are you going to do that and be true to someone else in a relationship based on honesty if you don't even know who the hell you are? It made sense, but of course, you know, other body parts are telling me a different story. You know what I mean? It's like, here's the thing. I tried to be in a relationship in early recovery. I wanted to. Like 6 months in, I'm like, I'm over. But you've known me. You know, you say, oh, Tim's always hitting on waitresses, this and that. No, I'm always making women giggle, and I'm making them laugh. Other people just don't get that. Like, I'm open, funny, and honest. Like,
I get it.
yeah, and you see it as I'm trying to do something else. I'm not. There's nothing better than to make someone laugh. So, 6 months in, you just zonkered. Been working 12s. 6 months in, I asked the girl out. She bold-faced was like, nope. You need to figure out who you are. She had 6 months, too. I went 3 years without ever asking another girl out or thinking about a relationship in recovery. And then that same girl approached me and was basically like, you figure out who you are now? Well, let's go out. And I've been with her since.
Oh.
That's not everyone's story,
Oh.
but I tried to figure out who I was. I tried to figure out who I was, and I stayed honest about it. We're going to have another person coming up here in a few minutes to be on the show.
You're probably sick of me listening.
Not
to
at
you.
all. I keep cutting you off, which I got to stop doing. What I want to hear from you now, Ken, is biggest struggles in your recovery.
The biggest struggles in my recovery?
Yes.
Relationships.
Relationships?
People suck.
What do you mean? With boys, with girls? With boys, with girls, with animals? What do you mean?
Relationships?
Yeah, what do you mean relationships?
Relationships are the hardest thing in recovery.
Intimacy with just anyone or with girls or with, what do you mean?
All relationships.
Okay, elaborate.
So, for me in recovery, I don't know. People suck.
Do you own a mirror?
I suck.
There you go. There you go.
Wow.
You're the one who taught me this shit.
Oh.
You old timers, you people are the ones who taught me, like, dude, the more problems I have with
People.
yeah, the more problems I'm sitting here figuring out about other people. Well, Tim, what's you're
Wait.
telling me you're perfect?
No, I'm taking your inventory tonight.
There you go. There you go. I'm so busy pointing 3 fingers at myself and not noticing it while I'm telling you what's up with you.
Oh.
It's just the way it goes. And I do it all the time. I'm constantly over here telling someone about themselves, and I'm like, wait a second here.
Because you're talking about yourself.
There you go. Into UIC.
So when do you realize, when the light bulb go on for you?
It was when someone else pointed it out. Serious. Someone else pointed it out, but it wasn't about me. We were talking about someone else, or they were talking about themselves, and they're like, I'm so pissed off about this and that.
And what this and that was things they're mad about themselves within. Like, something I'm seeing you do that pisses me off, it really stems from something I'm upset with myself about. Expectations. But listen, I've been preaching this for a long time. Like, you are the creator of your own happiness. How happy do you want to be? Do you want to put the stock into Elena calling you an asshole? Do you want to let that wreck your whole day?
Did he tell you I called him that?
Serious. How much? I mean, do you... If someone has a problem with me, I got to remember they're the one who has the problem. Do I want to sit and let that wreck my whole day because they have a problem with me? I do it. I do it all the time. If I know someone's mad at me, it bugs the shit out of me. But
Why does it bug the shit out of you?
I just don't like that feeling of thinking someone's upset with me. You know what? Oh, shit. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like that. It gets to me.
What was that all about?
I was getting excited. Sorry. You know, we're talking about this, and it's like, because it hits home with me. I'm always like, my first instinct is to call someone out on the shit they're doing. Why?
Why do you
Exactly.
do that?
Why? I don't know. Old character defect?
Does it make you feel better?
I don't know. What's my intentions on doing it? I'm sure it is. When I know something you don't know.
Wait. What did they used to say?
Don't be an asshole.
No, that was something stupid.
Come on.
I can't think of it. I must be getting old.
Oh.
All right, so listen, guys and girls, 2218. That is where this podcast is being held at. You don't leave, just belly up next to me. Missy, come on down. Come on down. All right, 2218. That is the world's longest running Alano club in the world. We've been here like 80 banging years. Now, this is the club that saved my life. This is the club that saved hundreds of thousands of lives throughout these years. It means a lot to me. It's the only place that didn't close their doors throughout all of COVID. It's something that's just real important to me, and that's why I talk so highly of it. This place is open every day of the year for meetings. There's a meeting list outside when you walk up to the front. This club can definitely use some financial help. So if you're able to donate, please donate. Here's the other thing. Membership. Come be a member at this club. Make this club your club. There's multiple different fellowships that are held at this Alano. You can find what you're looking for when it comes to recovery here at this Alano. And like I say, just own your recovery. Be part of it and own it. It's up to you where you go from here. Like, I always share about, you know, if you're struggling, reach out. I'm not going to know if Elena's having a bad day if Elena doesn't tell me she's having a bad day. I'm not going to know if Matt's pissed off unless he tells me he's pissed off. So, like, just reach out. And, like, this is the place that helped me learn that stuff. The majority of the recovery I have under my belt, I got from the places like this. And I strongly support it. This place saved my life, man. And you can't put a price on my life. It's that easy. I love this place. So, the other big thing I want to talk about is the 4th annual Ride for Recovery. 2218 Ride for Recovery, Saturday, June 25th, a week from tomorrow. I'm going to just read it on down, and then I'm going to introduce our next guest. 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., pancake breakfast and registration. There's a $5 donation for breakfast. At 9:45, there's mandatory rider meeting, which includes safety. We go over structure of the ride, the route. We do a little fellowshipping. We get to, hey, you want to roll with me? Ba, 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 ba. We all get on the same page of how this ride is going to go. Kickstands are up at 10 a.m. We pull back into the club at 1:30 p.m. And at 1:30 p.m., all this whole thing kicks off. We got the bands banging out. We got this. It's a huge day. It's a huge party. Like, you want to see what fun looks like in recovery? You come on down here, and I will show you. We're going to have the podcast from the Ride for Recovery. So we will not be having a show on Friday. If everything goes well, we will have pre-recorded a show and we will air it on Friday. Elena's looking at me sideways because she doesn't know this yet. But I'm going to try to nail down a time that I can get her, me, CJ, and I believe Dennis to do a pre-recorded show between now and Thursday, and we'll play it Friday night. Because Saturday, we're going to be here having a podcast all day long from 1:30 till about 9 p.m. with just like Gopher State, just like Gay Pride Month, or just with like Pride Month. People are going to be coming in and out. We're going to have so many guests. It's going to be such a fun time. So at 1:30, where was that? Was that at that wedding? So at 1:30, we got the festivities kick off. At 4 p.m., we got Zoo Factor. We do have another band showing, or another artist who's coming on, and he is a this was the big surprise. Like, I just wanted to confirm that it was an all go before I advertised it with everyone, just because I wasn't 100% sure. But like, this is some of the biggest news we've heard in a long time, that Tom Feldman, search it. Like, he's a recording star. His name is Tom Feldman. Once he's here, I'm going to talk to him. We'll get permission to play some of his music on air. We just, with copyrights and things of that nature, we don't have permission to play people's professional music on air. But he's got some famous hits. He's a musician. So we got him. Barbecue's at 5 o'clock. We have a guest AA speaker. I don't have the name of the guest AA speaker quite yet. I might have it before the show's over. At 7 p.m., we're doing a medallion meeting. At 8 p.m., they take the stage again with music. At 8:30 is the silent auction will close, because from 1:30 till 8:30, there's the whole auditorium and the atrium are filled with, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of raffle items, worth of auction stuff, silent auction stuff. It's you know what? This is where the bike I drove tonight, Elena, this is where I got the muffler from. My unique Thunderhead loud-ass muffler. I bought it from the second annual. Yes, I got that here. So, like, motorcycle parts, they have these raffles so far every year of these hand-knitted, like, 10 by 12 foot Harley blankets, and these badass blankets. They're so, like, these native blankets. Then the raffle, it's like, I can go on all night about how fun this is. So the ride does start at the St. Paul Harley. It's $28.99 Hudson Road, Hudson Boulevard, I believe so. St. Paul. R4R stage schedule, June 25th. Live music at 22:18. 12 p.m. is Clark. It's a solo act. At 1 p.m., Happy Wednesday and Tom Feldman. Yes, it's legit. So Happy Wednesday and Tom Feldman. That's huge. That's a huge get. At 3 p.m., we got Mama Ruth speaking. Oh, hell yeah. Good job, producer in training. All right. Sorry, you guys are getting sick of hearing my voice, but 3 p.m. is Mama Ruth. She's a speaker, and if you have not heard Mama Ruth, that is something serious to come here. Why won't you tell me? I was over here. You just don't listen, do you, Elena? I was just saying I will hopefully find out who the speaker is. And it's your sponsor's husband, and you just weren't going to tell no one? That's her not telling me. So at 4 p.m., Zoo Factor hits the stage again. At 7 p.m., main speaker is Curtis Miller, or Curtis M. Like, this is, you can't, if you've ever seen a man with a 2-foot goatee, this is him. 8 p.m. is Zoo Factor takes the stage. The ride is safety-based. We have so many road guards. We could use more road guards. If you know anyone who wants to come road guard the ride, just have them reach out to myself or Elena, or call the club, and we'll get you all lined up to be one of the road guards. So we do appreciate it. The one thing that goes above and beyond my advertising the club and advertising the Ride for Recovery, Elena talked about some events that are happening at the Blaine Alano too. Always check in with local Alanos. The Fridley Alano's always doing stuff. The White House, there's New Hope Alano. There's so much going on. One last thing I want to read. One last thing I want to talk about. We're not doing tidbits with Timmy. It's just something that I paraphrased from something that Pastor said was, I paraphrased with what you're about to hear. Never fucking apologize for being yourself. If people don't like how you look, act, or how you speak, that just means those aren't your people. Don't change who you are to match your surroundings. Pick better surroundings. You follow me, Elena?
Yes.
Never apologize for being yourself. If people don't like how you look, act, or how you speak, then that just means those aren't your people.
That's right.
Don't change who you are to match your surroundings. Pick better fucking surroundings. Missy!
Yeah.
Get up on that mic, girl. Gotta get close. Right by the mic.
Okay.
Please introduce yourself. Who are you?
I'm Missy.
Get on that mic, girl. Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
I'm Missy. I'm an addict.
There you go. Welcome, Missy. Thanks for being on the show. So, what's the topics you brought?
What?
What's the topics you brought to the show? What'd you want to talk about?
Wait, what?
You're the guest. What did you want to talk about?
I thought you're supposed to have the topic.
I am. I just...
Sprung this on her.
I know. No, I've been trying. Missy's a huge get. We've been trying to get her on the show for a while. I've only approached her.
One week.
I talked to you about this when. Yeah, this
Wait,
is when you.
one
This is when you
week.
prejudged me and you didn't like me. Remember? Yeah.
Bring up the past.
So yeah, no.
What did you just read?
Yeah, if you don't like your surroundings, you better find better surroundings.
So
So now let me just that little backdraw. Missy is someone who came into these rooms here at 2218. And I'm going to just talk about your growth from what I've seen a little bit.
Oh, shit.
She came in these rooms, but she doesn't live down the street. She came from way the shit out in St. Paul. She would hop buses to get here. And early recovery from coming here, I don't know if that was your early recovery, but early on when you were coming here, Missy's the type that when she shares, she's going to share that shit. She's not going to hold back or keep it quiet. She's going to tell you what's on her mind. And I can appreciate that. Some people are intimidated by it. But she would talk about people on the bus, like interactions. Like you're trying to get to a meeting and there's people on the bus doing dope. There's people you're walking by nodding out and still making the meeting. Then Missy steps up into Phoenix, takes on a position. Then Missy's like the unspoken financial keeper of this meeting that there's 19 trusted servants of this 6-day-a-week meeting. Missy's the one who takes care of keeping track of all the finances, which also she's also one that like wants to make sure that Phoenix is being represented at the board. She's very gung-ho about her recovery. She's one of the volunteers here at 2218. When you walk in here on a Friday, one of the friendly faces you see when you walk in is Missy. She's the one who will help you with questions, concerns. That's what recovery looks like. Like, I personally just wanted to thank you and get you on the show because not many people hop into recovery the way I seen you hop into recovery. You make connections. You're guarded. You know, we have to be sometimes. Like, I know, like, with Joa, like, I know you've made connections, but you keep coming back and you get involved. Like I said, you're volunteering. You're taking service positions, you're trying to be part of squad council, like, you're involved. Like, tell me about your length of recovery, what recovery's done for you, and what this club's done for you. The floor is yours.
Oh, God.
We'll start easy.
that was a lot.
How long have you been in recovery?
Oh, 3 years and like 3 months and like 17 days or something like that on that
3
app.
years, 17 months, 17 days, 8
Good.
hours, 10 minutes.
17 minutes and 17 seconds.
Sometimes that's how it goes, right?
Right. Am I supposed to watch my language?
Fuck yeah, don't swear.
Okay. Because I gauge it on my swearing, right?
Yeah, no.
Because when I first came to Phoenix and walked in here, every other word was fuck this, fuck that, everything, fuck here. I noticed it's gotten better. And I think that's with my recovery, right? So when I first came in here and I walked in and I saw Phoenix, and they were open. It was during
Yes.
COVID.
Yes.
It was during COVID,
Mhm.
and I needed this place. I needed this place so bad. I was hurting.
That's right. Have you been here since the beginning? Were you here? When did you start coming here? Was it right after, like, when you noticed other places were closed and you needed an in-person meeting?
Yeah, pretty much. I needed an in-person meeting. It had to be. It was the same time we were talking. I was talking with Matt. I was talking with Matt because he said he had 18 months, and I was like, holy shit, that had to be about. Because I was like, you've been going here a long time. And I was like, how long you got? He said 18 months. I said, well, I thought you had longer time than that because you've been here the whole time I've been here. And Matt said, well, I only got 18 months. I thought he had the whole time. So I've been going here as long as Matt's been going here.
So 18 months, like, that was literally 5. Like, yeah, you were coming in right.
He said June. He started coming in June. I had started coming in probably about February.
So
Middle of
year
February.
after the pandemic started. Wait, because March is when everything got closed down. March of whatever.
Yeah, it had to
19?
be about then.
So March of 20.
Then of March, maybe. Then of March. I don't know, but I walked in and there weren't a lot of meetings going, and there weren't a lot of people on the trains. We had to wear masks. You kept on telling us to put masks on. You're like, we're gonna close this fucking place down if you don't keep your fucking mask.
Was I one of the
on."
ones saying it?
Yeah, you were. You were masked.
She said you were. I was the mask Nazi.
Yeah, you were it. You were the mask person.
And you know what? I didn't wear them, and when I did, it was not the way my mom would have approved. Yeah, no. Listen, anyone who's listening is like, you could read right between what I just said. Like, I wanted meetings to stay open. We had people threatening us, like, if you don't wear a mask, we'll be able to close you down, which at the end of the day, it was all bullshit. But in recovery, when we're told to do something, we try our best to abide by it and stay honest with that stuff. I got thrown into Phoenix, so, like, there was some ego involved where I felt like in charge, but there's no one who's in charge of shit. We are all the same. But there was times where I felt like I was the only one, like, carrying that message of we have to wear masks. Whatever. I don't even want to talk about the mask thing. But, okay. So, I was telling you wear masks. Yeah, come on.
I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll put the goddamn mask on.
Because you needed a meeting.
Yeah, exactly. And I walked in, and there are all these different kinds of people in here. I was like, yo, I'm from Minneapolis, North Side. So I was like, this is my home. I was so happy.
You'd never been here before?
No, I've been here. I have been here. Actually, my husband had come here before he relapsed and committed suicide.
Oh, I was going to say, you're married? I didn't know you were married. I was looking at your ring. No, I didn't know that. Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, that was like 12 years ago.
Wow.
And so I have been here then and
so a long
spotty
time ago.
here and there, but yeah, it's been fucking
So you've been like now, I mean, 18 months, 20 months, you've been like religiously coming here. Because now what, you hold a service position at 2218, is it Friday nights? Is that?
Yeah, Friday nights. It was Monday nights, but then I did Treasure Monday nights now for Phoenix.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So I said, I'm doing Treasure. I can't do the desk at Monday. So, yeah. So I took Treasure because you guys needed people to do Treasure
Yes, we
because you
did.
fuckers were doing Treasure 3 nights a week.
I love her. I love it.
What's his name? What's his name?
Rob.
With Rob. Rob was
You're
doing
going to say with the
Treasure.
tattoos?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do with tattoos.
Better than the short guy.
Yeah, he was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he and I were the only ones doing it. He had 3 days. I had 3 days.
Yeah,
Like-
and you're like, you need this. How many? 2 years? And I was like, well, I got fucking 2 years. Yeah, I'll do it. And
Oh,
I made
yeah.
my sponsor come and give me my 3 years here, so y'all knew I had a fucking sponsor, and because I do, and I'm working the program.
Oh, yeah.
And though I swear a lot, but
You're all good.
So
Be a host. Ask some questions after this. No, I'm being serious. We're trying to get him all involved too. Plus, you two know each other, so I want him involved.
Well, I said to him one time, I said, "Why don't you talk more?" He said, "Because he said
don't
something
let him.
like because I'm a pervert." But
I did not. No.
Yeah, Missy with the funny. Did you hear what she said? Why doesn't Matt talk more? Matt said, because I'm a pervert.
No.
What
that's
did
not
you
why
say?
I
Add
don't-
dirty thoughts or something?
No, because I guess newcomers speak in the meetings. Like it ain't all about me speaking in the meetings. It's all about the newcomers getting a chance to
Oh,
speak
you're talking
themselves.
about at the meeting. I thought you meant on the podcast.
No, I
No.
meant at the meeting.
Yeah, it's all I'm
Keep
all,
this
I'm all about
conversation
the,
going.
all about the newcomers getting a chance to speak.
Yeah, well, they don't.
Because some of them don't do it because they don't feel comfortable. So there's people that have more time than me that I want to speak, so they can get it from someone who's like considered an old timer.
But you speak fast, so.
Yeah, really fast. So
Yeah, so stay loud and slow and keep this interview going. Keep
On the
going.
spot.
Dead air.
yeah, I know. Okay, I
So
know.
anyway, what was it? So I come in, all my people are here, all different kinds of people. There's even a lady crocheting. There's this lady crocheting. She still goes here. She crochets. She has to be like, 70 years old. You know
Yes, and Lois.
Lois.
Yes.
Old-timer.
Lois.
Yeah, she still goes here. In fact, she should get a service position. I'm trying to
Yeah.
talk her into it. And then there's KG. You know, so there are all kinds of people that were in here, and then you were here, and so it saved me. I needed to be here, and I loved it. I loved it. It wasn't like St. Paul. St. Paul was like, it's like old time. It's like old school over there. It's small over here. It's a whole bunch of different people, and then there's a lot, like you said, a lot of newcomers from treatment.
Most of them are treatment. Some are probably like they chose to come by themselves.
Yeah,
And Phoenix was created for like the newcomers.
right.
Because Minneapolis is more known for like newcomers going to meetings.
Yeah, and now we do. We do have a group called Fresh Start, right?
Yep, they took over our Tuesday meeting.
Right. So, and I love that. At first, I didn't. At first, when they first came, I was like, nah, you guys get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it was that business meeting. I was there.
You were there? Were
Yeah,
you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm not going to change. But then by the time the following one, I was like, yeah, I think this is great. I think this is a great idea, you know, and we needed them, you know, we need them. And so, and then they already have another meeting on Wednesday too, another NA meeting
Here at
on Wednesday.
That's the usual suspects meeting.
Yeah, and they've been here even before COVID.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
I think
they were here before COVID.
Yeah, they were here before Phoenix too, I believe.
Yeah, before Phoenix too. So that was here before that.
And I know 20 meeting just got like a young person's meeting called Sky's the Limit. It goes on Wednesdays.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, like it starts at 5, I believe.
Okay. For young people?
Yep. So I know our friend Gavin started that meeting.
Gavin, what's he look like?
He's young. He's just turned 20.
Okay. Because my son is going to be involved in stuff like that. Yeah. But the difference is from then to now is I'm able to hold my head up. But he's right. I am guarded. Plus, I can't hear that well. So sometimes people tell me that they say hi to me and I don't hear them if you're behind me. And they say, yo, fuck that bitch. You know, and they'll tell me that later because I didn't hear them. Or I still get like, because I read people's nonverbal cues. And if I get the slightest idea that I'm reading something wrong, then like they have an attitude or something, then I'm real quick just to shut down and just walk away. I still have my issues, you know. I still have my really fucked up issues, but I've gotten better. You know, I don't feel like I want to fucking punch somebody in the throat anymore or something like that. I came here with a lot of extra trauma, like everybody else. But the guardedness has gotten better. I am able to talk and step outside my comfort zone and want to welcome the newcomers, like you're talking about.
Yep.
It's hard to do though.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know,
So what was like one of your biggest hurdles, and like when you first started, what was your biggest hurdles that you had to deal with?
Trusting people in the meetings, um, because it is really hard to step outside my comfort zone and open up and talk to people. And especially when you come here and people are already in their social groups, like they already know each other, right? And even if they're like, oh, let's go to fellowship, and I'm like, oh, fuck you, I'm not going, right? I don't know you, and I'm really, and it's not like I want to isolate, but at the same time, they talk about being rebellious. I am rebellious. I do want to like hang out, but only at a really, really slow pace, right?
Um, my biggest hurdle was like I got diagnosed with social anxiety a few years ago. So like mine was like really like getting to know new people. So like when I was in treatment, my counselor, like, I told him that he's like, you have social anxiety. Like, it doesn't seem like you. It was 'cause I went on my comfort zone. I went on my way to actually step out and talk to people who I didn't know. I mean, my anxiety still shows up here and there. Like even on my meetings when I chair it, with people I don't know in the meeting, I don't like to say hi to people, but I'll go on my way to say hi to somebody just because it shows like I'm still working on that. So that's a work in progress every day. Well, yeah, and talking in front of a group of people. Because I don't do it too often, but when I do, I want to make sure I have something important to say or something that someone's gonna need to hear. So how'd you work on your? How'd you get over that trust hurdle?
I'm not over it. I'm not over it.
Have you taken any steps to get over that hurdle? Are you working on it?
I guess just pushing myself to do it. Like they say, like it's like you take 2 steps forward and then 1 step back all the time. Two steps forward and 1 step back. I'm really proud of you, actually watching you come a long ways. Watching somebody else in the program be successful, then I can know that, because I can't see myself, right?
Yeah, nobody can.
But when I see like you do these things, then I'm like, oh, I must be doing something right too, because this person, because like I said, I was just thinking about you and me both being here at the same time, and you're doing these things and I'm doing these things, so we must be doing something right, because we're not getting high,
Right. Because I know when I first started here, people the only name people knew me by was Rambo. That's what everybody called me. Like, people, why they call you that? For the listeners that don't know, it's because I started coming here with wearing a lot of bandanas in the summertime. That's the reason I got that nickname. So, but that was what I went by. It's what I still choose to go by when people say it. Like, especially on Thursdays, that's my go-to name on Thursdays with Rob. Did it mute again? All right, so where do you see how far do you want to see yourself in the future with your recovery, and like what's a goal you have in your recovery?
Hey, that's a good question, because well, of course I want to be a sponsor, right? And I want to sponsor people, but I'm really, what's the word, reluctant. Like last year, well, sponsoring women. Last year I had 2 I don't know if this is okay to say, but I had 2 really good friends, girls, hurt me, trust issues with them. And so I'm learning those boundaries, right? But I want to be a sponsor. And the other thing, I want to do service work, but I don't want to go in the recovery field. I see a lot of people do that, go into the recovery field after they get recovery.
Yeah, that's why I haven't chosen that. Like my first set of service work was actually Rapid Recovery last year, doing the Johnny Pop's ice cream station. I mean, this year I'm more else be doing the podcast and what I can for Rapid Recovery. And then I got my position. I got service as a front desk on Thursdays. Then I stepped up into the chairing a Friday meeting. So that's how I got my start in service work. Started with like one event, got to the service desk, then I got to doing a meeting. You know, now like my meeting my what's the word I'm looking for? So I know being a chairperson for a meeting is like a commitment for like a year. My year's coming up. Like I'm about ready to step down from my chairing of the Friday meeting.
I thought you did step down from Friday.
No, I still have to.
Keep going.
I was the only one here today doing it. So
You're gonna step down?
yeah, because I just started a new job like a week ago. Like it's a demanding job. I'm on call whenever they need someone to come in and fill in.
Okay.
So like it can mess with my Friday schedule,
Right.
and I could work till like whatever hours. So yeah.
Then you can do squad council for sure.
Yeah, I do squad council every Tuesday because I'm one of the only few paying members of Phoenix that can actually go up there and be a part of it
Yeah.
for voting specifics on things. So, like, how many friends have you made in recovery now that you've been here? You've been here about 18 months, about my same amount of time.
How many friends?
Have you made? Who do you all consider friends in your recovery? How many? Like,
That's all I have. Like, right? Like, my whole, I think about it, everybody that I associate with, all my texts, everything is just recovery.
right?
You know, my whole list of texts are all recovery. There is not the only ones that aren't are my family.
Yeah.
Right? They're still active. Yeah, I don't know. They can. I don't know if they're not normal users. They
Right.
say they are, and I
Yeah.
tell them they are, but they're not. But
trying to
everybody else, yeah.
Yeah, because I know even if I've made a lot of friends since I started coming here, and so you know Kenzie who chairs the Thursday meeting who's on the show a while ago. Just recently she messaged me like, "What's going on? How you doing?" I've just been busy. I had to tell her I've been busy with work, and I had stuff with family for the past few weeks I had to deal with. So my schedule has gotten busier. So when I first started coming here, people noticed that I used to walk here every day, take the bus, and then all of a sudden January I got my license. A month later I got my car, and people were so proud of me because I did things that get to that point, And I've had other friends say they look up to me because even with a year to 18 months they were looking up to me. I haven't been doing this this ain't my first stint in recovery that people know of. At one point I had 8.5 years. I chose to go. So this is where we can fill into the point where I can really talk about why someone would choose to go back out and use after having some much time of recovery, but that's a different topic for when I get put on the air.
Hey, you are the controller of your own future.
Oh, definitely.
Attaboy.
I can specifically say why I chose to go back out.
Hey, you guys keep going.
I'll tell you
Don't let
what.
us interrupt.
I know one thing. You know, they talk about in recovery, these people go, they get their driver's license, they get their car, and they get this, they go to school and all this. Well, for me, I'm older, right? And I've done I've got my driver's license, I've had a car, I've had this, I've had that, I've gotten my college degree, my master's degree, I've had a profession. And so I've gotten a lot of these things, and then I really fucked up. I really fucked up. I went for fucked up bonus rounds, right?
I want to talk to you a little bit about that too.
And so, now it's some of these things that some of the people that what they go for, their milestones, I'm not going for, right? I don't care to go for them. I just am slow-mo go. I don't really give a fuck because I've already gone and got these things, right? That some of these people go for. So,
Would you say that you are basically, you're doing your recovery?
yeah,
You're having your own experience.
right. I don't need to.
Have Matt's experience or have Elena's experience or do what she's doing, do what he's doing. You're figuring out your own.
Right. And it's been really hard to be keep on talking myself talk and praying and being I need to slow down because I can't hurry this recovery. I've done that before And obviously that didn't fucking work. Right?
Yeah.
I need to get recovery and I need to do it right because all these other things like the degree, the fucking vehicle, the fucking money, all that other stuff didn't get me better, right? It didn't heal me. So now I have to do exactly what they tell me to do.
Yeah, because like I have two sponsees, and they ask me, it's like, how do I do my recovery? I always tell them, do your recovery your way. Like, don't do it my way. I'm just here to like guide you through the steps, answer any questions you have. Because our recovery is based on how we want to do it ourselves. There's no wrong or right way to do recovery. It's at our own pace.
So I wanna elaborate on what Matt's saying. Everyone sees it their own way. Okay? Like, or let me reword that. Oh shit, how do I say this without sounding like an asshole towards what Matt just said? I'm not gonna. What I'm gonna say is like, yes, I can have your experience. But I've also heard if you want what I have, you got to do what I did. Like, that's talking about recovery. Showing up, finding a sponsor, working some steps, doing some service work. But, like, your spiritual experience is yours. I can't have yours. We opened this podcast with talking about, thinking there should be a time limit on how quick you do steps. Or... 2 weeks or 2 years, or should there be a time limit, or do 90 and 90, or you can't date for a year, like things of that nature. I think you're hitting on it, and I think you're saying it too. Like, get some sponsees. Well, first, get a sponsor. Show up. As long as you're showing up, you're staying involved, you're fellowshipping as best you can, you're getting into some service work, getting involved, making recovery. You know what? Paul Birch from Will Work for Recovery says it every day. If your recovery doesn't come first, everything else in your life will come last. It just does. Because I can speak from my own experience. Like, when I was using, that's what was most important. It wasn't my plan. My plan was never to be like, heroin is all. But that's just how it turned out. Like,
Yeah.
this lady I listened to in I think it was Detox or early inpatient, it was this whole speech. It was like, I did not start with a needle in my arm. And she goes on to say, like, I was an 18-year-old girl at keg parties. My goal was never to be a junkie in the corner with a needle in my arm. Like, that was not my goal when I started this. But once there became a problem, there was already a problem. Like, once it was too late, it was too late. I couldn't do something about it once there was already a problem. Like, it hit home on so many levels, this lady, her share. But I think, like, a lot of that goes to what we're talking about is, like, show up. Be of service. Like, that's why I wanted you on so bad, is I wanted to toot your horn about how much you've been doing with recovery. Like, you stay connected, whether it's text messages or phone calls or showing up at the front desk or being a service to the meeting, that's what you do. Like, I don't know. I should have talked to you before because I don't know what kind of your personal life you don't want me talking about. But, like, you shared about, you were a teacher, correct?
Right.
Like, is that all right to bring that up?
Right.
All right. So you were a teacher of, like, the youth for multiple years. You just shared, I think, that you went to college.
Yeah.
You got degrees, masters, this, that. Like,
Yeah.
what happened?
What happened? Well, I've always been, at 15, I drank myself to death, right? So I've always been addict, alcoholic, right? In fact, my mom told me I was when I was 6. She said, well,
At 6?
yeah, she told me, my mom said, you're going to be an alcoholic like your dad. He's in, native. You're going to be just like him. So by 15, I was at a party and I drank enough that my heart stopped and I took other drugs.
Was that the first time you drank, or
No.
that was just that? Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. But then I went to Riverside
Fairview,
Yeah.
LP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it had been just when they started adolescent, really, I'm old enough to the point that it had just started adolescent drug
As long as you
treatment.
didn't say you went to St. Mary's, then I know you're not that old.
No.
Because that's what Fairview was before. Fairview was called St. Mary. Whatever. Go ahead. So yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I did that. And I guess I got a little better. I mean, I went to aftercare and carried
So at
beer
15,
there,
you
but-
OD'd on alcohol and ended up at Fairview?
right,
adolescent
right,
ward?
right, yeah, yeah, and did aftercare, whatever, got better, whatever, kind of got better. I mean, still used, whatever, and my parents sent me up north because I just ran away all the time, and so they sent me up north with
Some other family or something?
yeah,
Or-
out with some other family, and I did a little better, and
It helped you get out of the north side or whatever? Yep,
yes,
okay.
absolutely. And it's
Right.
college bound there,
Right.
schools. And I ended up going to college and getting a scholarship for art.
Nice.
And and sports, and went and had grants and scholarships. And I went and got a degree in art education. And for some reason at that time, I had some really good friends. One of them was she went to church, and her dad was a priest, pastor. I don't know what the fuck he was, but I went to church with her a lot, and we were really good friends. But after that, in my 20s, I started teaching and drinking a lot on the weekends.
Teaching and drinking?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Teach during the week and
Oh,
drink
yeah,
on the weekends.
You're a weekend warrior.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. To the point that, long story short, I drank enough that something bad happened a couple times.
Yeah, okay.
And
Yeah,
down
I don't
there,
need detail. I know you were a
Yeah.
teacher. Like
and down there, they weren't like here. I mean, you could get away in Kansas City, Kansas, drinking and driving like a motherfucker. Here, you go to prison. You go to fucking prison.
Yeah, they don't
you
play.
know? They don't play here.
That'll get you.
Right here. I mean, down there, man. Yeah, I drank. I was driving in a blackout 45 minutes. I didn't even know how the fucking pole got hit down the road, and then 2 days later, I'm like, yeah, that's how my car got dented. Shit like that. And it so happened across the street, there's a AA club, right? In Kansas City, Kansas. And I knew where to go, since I was 10. And that's where I went. It took me like 6 times to figure out what the fuck to do. But I got about 2.5 years, right?
Okay.
Mind you, my mom had given me amphetamines when I was 12. So I already had that.
Well, yeah, we got to keep you awake.
Yeah, I had
I'm
that
joking,
addiction
yeah.
at 12. So I had that because, remind you, this is connected to this.
Right.
Because I did get 2.5 years, and I was going and working and getting my master's from the University of Kansas at the same time this is all going on. Because that's what we do as addicts, alcoholics. When we have problems, we add more problems on there.
Yeah, of course. That's all we know.
Yeah.
Like, that's our coping mechanism.
Yeah.
It's that. Yes, I get it. Yeah, anyone who sits in the seats we sit in gets that. We understand that.
So I went to a psychiatrist because I couldn't figure out what the fuck my problem was.
So, like, wait, let me ask. You wanted to stop, but you just didn't know how? Or did you're like, no, fuck it, I don't care. I want to party. Like, where were you at that time?
I was at like, I'm fucking 20. I have this fucking rock star boyfriend.
Oh, you're 20.
In my 20s.
Okay.
I was in my 20s. And I was fucking drinking like crazy, and I had no other responsibilities.
Right.
And I'm working on getting my master's, and I'm down in Kansas City, and I don't have to pay to eat because I'm not eating, and I'll spend it on drinking and clothes. It just self,
Right.
Yeah. And I'm away from my family. Nobody knows what the fuck I'm doing.
Right.
And you know, do a little coke and drink and drink and drink, and it was great. And until some bad shit started happening, and so started going to the meetings, get 5 months in relapse, and just like that. And then finally, I did start getting time, and I got 2.5 years. And then I went to a psychiatrist, and he put me on Adderall XR 35 milligrams.
So the big boys.
Right?
More amphetamines.
I didn't know what the fuck they were,
Right.
honestly, at the time, because it was 2000.
But like, oh shit, they had me on Ritalin. They didn't even have Adderall but that was in '97.
But yeah, I said, and I was teaching special ed at the time. I started just, and
But look, did it work though if you took them the right way? Like as prescribed, were they working or were they getting you high as shit?
well, I don't know. I went back to the doctor. I said, this shit's good. I need more. That's what I said. I said, I need more. I need 2 of those a day. And down there, yeah, he gave me 2 more, and he gave me something called Clonopin.
So you're taking a Clonopin, which is like anti-anxiety, and then you're taking Adderall, which is just a straight upper. So you're like a roller coaster, but that's supposed to level you. Like that's what I'm saying. Like if it's doctor prescribed and you're doing it as prescribed and being honest with them, like it's supposed to work. It's supposed to. But like were you
good.
abusing or were you drinking on it or what?
I was just using that stuff like
Okay.
that. Like,
That
yeah.
was your jam?
But I was staying up all day, all night. Right? Which I don't think that was supposed to be the way I was working.
No.
Right? I don't think so. And I was running like 6-7 miles a day. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just go.
Right? Yeah. Until I got here. Long story short, I had my son, and then I was up here in Minnesota, and then my husband died, and then I kind of ran into this other guy, and he was a meth addict, and because I'm going on too long, I don't think you want to hear all this.
You want a water?
Yeah, I don't think you want to
No,
hear.
you know what? It's not like she may have opened that but didn't drink out of it. It's safe.
I didn't drink out of it.
Okay. So no, it's not that I didn't. Now I would have liked to jaw your ear about this sooner in the podcast because we are coming up near the ending. What I just wanted to get to was more or less like you found these rooms this last go round. Like when was this at the end when you stuck and stayed? What was it or what was that one magic word you heard or that magic meeting you found or that rock bottom you hit? What was it that
Well, doing meth sucked my soul out. Okay, first off, that wasn't like Adderall. Doing meth and drinking, because I thought meth was an answer to alcoholism, first off.
Yeah, I get it. No.
Right?
I got buddies who were addicted to cocaine and thought that heroin was the answer. Like, no, dude, I do heroin just once a week now and not coke every day. Like, I think I found the cure for cocaine.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah, and I discovered it sucked my soul out.
Right.
I became somebody that I did not know. And
So you were finding a rock. You were finding your bottom deeper and deeper.
right here, I'm a teacher, and CPS gets involved with my son.
Mm-hmm.
That's devastating, and because my son only has me as a parent,
Right.
and we have needles all over our basement. This is something that I never even.
You never planned for that.
Fuck no,
Right.
right? This is not, and it definitely became something I didn't even
Recognize.
right.
Like, and no, I'm not trying, Missy. I'm not. Here's the thing. It's like I never want our guests to sit and have to relive some terrible shit.
Well,
and
I'm
it sucks
trying-
that I got you going through this at like 5'2".
Well, here's the point.
Yes.
Here's the point. It turned me into somebody I didn't know, and I could not stop. Just like they said, I never thought it'd be that point where I'd be like, I know what to do. I'll go to a meeting tomorrow. I know what to do. I'll go to a meeting tomorrow. I never thought I'd be like that, right?
Right.
And I had that moment where I thought I ran out of drugs. I didn't when we went to clean the house, but I had gone AWOL, came back, and I had a moment where I called treatment and I said, can I come back? And I really had something that I wanted to go back. And then somebody said those words that you said earlier. I put my recovery above everything.
So you had a moment of, some say clarity, some say lucidity. Like, luckily, you had this moment of clarity that you were like, I'm calling treatment. I got to go back. I want this to work. I need this to change. And this has to be what my life turns into is recovery.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, like, that lady I talk about that I didn't start with a needle in my arm, that whole speech, like, she goes over all these things, and it's like, I get a lot out of everything. I'll play it for you someday. It's pretty sad, but it hits home on so many levels. But she talks about that. Like, how does a broken brain make an unbroken thought? How does a problem head make a solution choice? You know, my brain is already messed up from everything I've been doing, all the drinking and drugging. How is that same brain supposed to make this choice to save my life? Like, it's bad. It's these little moments of clarity that we might have that you hopefully, by the grace of God, can make that choice to pick up that phone and call treatment to ask, can I please come back? Or you call your sponsor, or you do get to a meeting, or you reach out. Like I say, no one knows you're hurting unless you speak up. No one knows that you're struggling unless you tell someone. Like, I'm telling you, I want you back on the show. We got to get more time with you. I didn't want you at 10, but I didn't think I could drop the 9 o'clock on you. I didn't even think I'd get you up here, but you see, it's not that bad. We just, that's all we do up here. It's just bullshit. So, I am grateful that you came up here. I'm thank you so much that you decided to come up, and we will have you on the show again. You will come on, right? Again?
Right, yeah.
All right, I got you on air saying you will. I just make sure I do that to my guests. So this is the point of the show that we do start wrapping things up. What I wanted to share before we end is exactly what I was just kind of telling Missy is like, if you're struggling out there, anyone re-listening to the broadcast or hearing it tomorrow or next week, like, you don't have to be alone. You're not alone. Maybe like physically you might be right now, but you don't have to be. You've heard us talk about it every week after week about the meetings up here at 2218. You're in Minnesota. There's meetings everywhere. If you don't know how to find a meeting, call me. I put my number on this thread. Call Lena. Come to 2218. There's a meeting list out front. Sure, that might not be the answer to all the problems, but it's a start. It's somewhere you can come, jump off, and get started. The success stories are endless up here. When it comes to recovery, you're going to hear some of the best things of your life. You're going to see some of the biggest miracles you've ever seen. Sure, you're going to deal with life. Life shows up. There's nothing you can do to stop that. How do you want to show up for it when it shows up? Hard times come, man. Someone was saying that, like, hard times create hard men and women. Like, you know, easy times, soft times create soft people. It's like, end of the day, you don't have to be alone. You're worth it. You're loved. Like, you're worthy. Put the effort into yourself, man. Show up. Reach out to us, please. This show is a networking situation where if you think there's something good going on that you want the world to know about, put it on here. Come be on the show. Reach out to myself or Elena or Matt. Like, come be one of our guests. Come be one of the hosts. Come be our producer. Shit. Matt's ready to get booted whenever we get someone better. No. But serious, like, if you know, you got some ideas for music that you want to hear on the show, anything idea-wise, anything where you want to see the path this show takes, just come be part of it. own your recovery. Like, this is your life. Take control. I do want to send a shout out to Carl Gallagher. Like, the Gallaghers are going through some real tough times right now. Life is showing up for him, man. Fuck cancer. And there's nothing you can do to stop it, but listen to your docs the best you can and live the best life you can while you have your life. I know they're not listening now, but, like, we love you. We're praying for the Gallaghers. We haven't had a show since we lost Kevin, so to the Ruddy family, like, we love you. We're thinking about you. That's life, man. We get to show up nowadays for people going through tough times. We get to be here for each other when we're going through tough times. Like, that's the joy of recovery. I get to bring that to my family who's not in recovery. You're loved, and we love you. So, Matthew, I need to know what you're grateful for, and I need to hear a quote.
I'm grateful for my new job that I started a week ago. It's a job I actually enjoy more than the other 2 jobs I've had. So people don't know I just got a job at Bobby and Steve's down on 12th in Washington.
Not going there.
So come out and say hi.
One at Washington, the big boy.
Yeah, the 24/7 one.
Atta boy.
And actually a member of the club here, Ricky, works there too.
Yeah. Pretty Ricky.
So the quote I picked for this week goes back to like beginning of our of the podcast. So here it is. Everyone is a moon and has a dark side which they never show to anyone.
Say that again.
Everyone is a moon and has a dark side which they never show to anyone.
Nice. Thank you, young Matthew. Melissa, what are you grateful for tonight?
Other recovering addicts.
That's it. All right. Well, hey, Elena, hop on over to this. He did. He's grateful for his new job. He's grateful for his new jobby. So, Elena, what are you grateful for in life today?
I'm grateful that I'm sober. That's all I can be grateful for right now. Oh, I will say, I let me change that. So,
You mean
So-
add to it?
let me add that. Yeah, let me add to that. So, I've talked in the past how I was really heartbroken when my daughter moved out, and I felt like I was abandoned because she left me, and then
you mean about you? Okay.
and then she came back home, and then I felt like she took over my space because she came back home, and my daughter just got accepted to North Dakota State University, so she's leaving again.
NDSU.
So that's my oldest one. She's leaving again. She's leaving in August. She's gonna go meet her. She's gonna live on campus up there. She's going to meet her friend or her new roommate that's from Florida. She's already been in contact with her, so sounds like she's gonna be all right. But I think I'm gonna buy her one of those heated jackets because it gets a bit nippy up there. Because there's no buildings blocking the wind.
It's a windy one.
So we'll see how she likes it.
Good.
Yeah, she didn't want to go to college, and I kept telling her, you're going to want to go, you're going to want to go, and now she's going.
Good.
So, yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
What are you grateful for?
There you go. I know I've been talking a lot tonight, so as always, I'm grateful for family. Like I said, we haven't been on the air for almost 3 weeks now, and I'm grateful I get to show up when life shows up. I get to be present for others. I get to show up as a brother, as a son, as a friend, as a boyfriend. I get to be present. Like, I get to be honest nowadays. I get to be honest. That's something I didn't think I was afforded in my youth, was honesty. When tough times show up, I get to be honest about what those tough times were. Because I might make bad choices, and then I have to face those realities of my bad choices. And do I want to be honest about it? Or do I want to put on some song and dance to make myself feel better in the moment, but still have the weight of that lies? Like, I don't have to anymore. So I'm really grateful to being honest and being present in life today. Last thing I want to talk about is next week. I know I've talked about it a few times, but it's such a huge event. It's such a big deal here at the club. First of all, come be a member at 2218. That affords you, like, you become a member, You pay a small monthly due, but you can always give more. You can be a volunteer here. You can get yourself a key for the club. You can come to the dinners that Jane has for Gratitude Cafe on Fridays. Like, you can do all that anyways. Do you have something to add?
No.
Oh. But what's huge about this club is just like the multiple events we do here. We've got the Ride for Recovery, the 4th annual. Lots and lots and lots of time and effort and volunteers and donations have been put into this. Come check it out. Don't cheat yourself out of a day of fun. You can get wristbands at a discounted rate all the way up until the day of. So reach out and I get your wristband for $20. Donations include ride, dinner, dance, and silent auction. We call the you buy the wristband as a donation, but that includes all the fun and games, the music, the ride if you want to go on it. The music, like I was saying, like we got the solo act of Clark at 12 p.m. We got the 1 p.m. Happy Wednesday and Tom Feldman. We got the 3 p.m. Mama Ruth speaking. Do not miss Mama Ruth speak. Like, don't miss that. Don't cheat yourself out of it. At 4 o'clock, Zoo Factor's banging on the stage. We got Curtis M. That's our producer's sponsor husband, or however she calls it. And then closing out the night at 8 o'clock, we got Zoo Factor. This is a banging event. Like, I can't. And here's the best part of it all. We're having the podcast from the Ride for Recovery. So come check it out. Come be on the show.
Tim, what am I going to do on a Friday night? I've been here for the last year.
We can still probably do the show, but I want...
I'm going to make plans now. But
if
what
I
am I
get-
going to do on a Friday night? Oh,
Well,
my gosh.
Meet me at the bar.
That's just it. I could meet you at a bar because I'm okay going to a bar now and just eating a burger.
That's what we talk about. Thursday night, bowling at Blainbrook Bowl. Friday night, Ham Lake Lane, at the Ham Lake spot, they do volleyball. There's softball leagues. There's camping going on. There's so much going on in recovery. The what's on Saturday? Fun Lab on Saturdays. Out by Blaine. There's so much going on in recovery, and I'm just blessed that we have this platform to sit and share about how wonderful life can be in recovery. Being honest is so bomb. It's so bomb. All right, yes. We'll see you on Saturday, hopefully. If all works as planned, Elaine and myself are going to get together on Wednesday or Thursday with a couple guests and pre-record a show with all the new equipment we should have by then. I'm going to spend all my allowance money on new equipment.
Woohoo!
And, yeah, you're going to hear some new stuff. Matt's going to get to do little drops. We're going to have promos at a touch of the button. It's going to be something serious.
We're not letting Matt touch any buttons.
Oh, yes, we are. We're going to have sound drops of Elena going like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, we're not.
Oh, that was me. Okay. Till next week.
No, we're
We
not.
love you. You're not alone. Please reach out if you're struggling. Fucking, I babbled so fucking much tonight. It
Please tell
bugged
me that was off before he said
Yeah,
that.
it was. I watched him hit it. Did you have any issues, though, getting it started?